LaTonya's missing.
LaTonya's missing?
I didn't have nothing to do with it. I don't know where LaTonya is. Don't look at me.
I'm gonna tell you something about LaTonya. She doesn't take no for an answer.
She was never afraid to go out there and just get what she needed to get.
This ain't your average trip down memory lane. Nah, this ain't Drake and Josh or Zoe one-on-one. This ain't even Kenan and Kel. We talking about a fever dream that actually happened. I'm talking about the Nick Cannon Show. And please wait before you click off this video because ain't nobody on earth reviewing this motherfucker. Shit, have you ever seen a review of the Nick Cannon Show? Have you ever even heard of it? I didn't think so. This was one of the coldest, most slept-on joints Nickelodeon ever aired. And the crazy part? It was a spin-off of all that. Nick was already killing it on all that. So it only made sense to give my guy the keys and let him drive his own ship. And for a minute, he was cooking. My boy had a whole setup. Each episode, Nick would walk into a situation, look around, hit us with that signature confidence and be like, it's time for the Nick Cannon takeover. Then boom, chaos comedy, music, and a whole lot of early 2000s energy. It was like he was fixing schools, workplaces, you name it, and flipping the script in his own wild, hilarious way. It felt like Punk meets Mr. Rogers with Timberlands on. And listen, the guests! We talking about Usher, Mary J. Blige, Britney Spears, Eddie Murphy, Lil Romeo, Kenan Kel, 3LW. Shit, that's a whole BET Awards show right there on Nickelodeon. I swear one day you'd see Nick trying to fix gym class, and the next day Britney Spears would be like, surprise! And out of nowhere, my 6-year-old self would be like, what the fuck is happening right now? And I ain't gonna lie, for a while, the show was lit. It came out at the perfect time, 2002, right in the sweet spot of Nickelodeon's second golden era. And here comes Nick with his own heat. It was on Snick, man. You know what kind of clout you needed to be on Snick in 2002?
Taking the world and mixing it up.
Isn't this fun? Let it rip. You don't get an allowance? It's all about style. Now it's time to get down to business.
The new Nick Cannon Show premieres January 19th at 9:30, 8:30 Central, only in Snick.
That was Nickelodeon's VIP lounge. But here's the part where it gets sad, real sad. Because despite all the potential, despite all the fire guest appearances, despite Nick being Nick before he was the mogul Nick, this show only lasted 2 seasons. Just when it was finding its groove, everything got switched up. New crew, new producers, and suddenly the magic was gone. You could feel it, like when your favorite pizza spot changes ownership and now the sauce just tastes different. Season 2 was shaky. It wasn't bad, but it didn't have that same I'm taking over energy. The writing started getting choppy, the episodes fell off balance, and viewers? They dipped, low ratings hit, and by February 2003, boom, canceled, gone, out of here. No farewell, no proper goodbye, just poof. One minute Nick was changing the world, the next minute the screen was black. And here's the real kicker, this show barely gets mentioned today. Like ever. It's not in the same conversations as Kenan and Kel, Drake and Josh, or even Cousin Skeeter. And why? That's what I don't get. It had the credentials, the name, the laughs, the celebrity juice, the music. Bruh, they even had skateboarding legend Willie Santos pull up. This wasn't no bootleg Nickelodeon spinoff. This was a whole production. Nick Cannon was ahead of his time with this. He basically laid the groundwork for the kind of personality-based variety shows we see all over YouTube now. Like, you think vlogging and changing the game content started with influencers? Nick was out here changing schools and entire businesses before TikTok was even a thought. The formula still works to this day. He made it feel like the show was unscripted, even though we knew it wasn't. And that's what made it hit harder. It felt like you could do it too. Like, yo, maybe I could go to school, change gym class, and bring out Usher for lunch. That's how wild this show was. But still, no reruns, no reboot, no DVD box sets. Barely a mention in retrospectives. The small cult following that does remember it, we out here fighting for our lives, trying to remind people this show was real. Like, I be on forums like, y'all remember when Nick Cannon had his own show on Nickelodeon? And folks be like, you mean Wild 'N Out? No, that came after. I'm talking when Nick was a teenager, wearing oversized jerseys, doing classroom takeovers, and breaking every rule on the chalkboard. But let's keep it a buck. Part of the reason it ain't remembered is because Dan Schneider wasn't involved. And like it or not, Dan had that magic marketing touch at the time. If he ain't touch it, Nickelodeon didn't push it the same way. The Nick Cannon Show was riding solo, trying to create its own wave without the Schneider machine behind it. And it deserved more love, more reruns, more flowers. This was Black Boy Joy on Nickelodeon in its rawest form. A young dude just being himself, cracking jokes, dancing, flipping institutions upside down, and not apologizing for it. It was refreshing, it was wild, it was fun, and honestly, it was inspirational. Nick Cannon took a sidekick role in all that and turned it into a full-blown solo mission. He took over for real. So to everybody who forgot, we remember and we celebrating. Because the Nick Cannon Show wasn't just a spin-off, It was a cultural moment, a hidden gem. And yeah, it might have been short-lived, but the impact, timeless. So go ahead, dust off the memory banks, hit that YouTube search bar, and give this show the respect it deserves. Because the Nick Cannon Show, man, that joint was different, period.